It's only because I've convinced multiple landlords to give me their properties and put them on Airbnb that I'm essentially able to travel the world for the first half of 2020. I'm traveling a ton because I'm semi-automated on Airbnb. I was in Mexico last week, Turks and Caicos this week, going to Colombia next week, speaking at an event in Chicago about Airbnb, then going to Japan, and then going to Greece and Serbia and South Africa. Now, this video is dedicated to help you do what I have done. This video is how to get landlords to tell you yes to Airbnb your property. This video specifically is about why landlords are telling you no, because a lot of you have tried to build this business. You've made the pitch and they've told you no. I'm going to fix that for you. Let's talk sales, selling, how to get a landlord to like you, like your pitch, and say yes to your rental arbitrage model so you can live like me, and I'll see you maybe in Japan or Serbia one day. Let's jump in. Welcome back, Airbnb family. So this video is about your pitch. It's not about the script, it's about your delivery, because a lot of us have different systems of approach, and my pitch changes with landlords that own multifamilies, big multifamilies that I'm not even talking to the landlords, single family homeowners, etc. So let's first talk about who you should be pitching first and how you should be pitching them, not getting dirty with the script, but about your delivery. Because of course, it's not what you say, it's how you say it that'll get you the yes. Because you could actually not have a script. You could just go up and say, hi, I'd like to Airbnb your place. If you said it the right way, you'll actually get some yeses. So if you're getting no's, there's something outside of a script that is broken. Are you feeling me? If you're feeling me, hit the like button. Remember to subscribe. Let's jump into some sales technique. All right, as you all know that I've owned a sales company for about 10 years, 11 years now. So this is actually my specialty, pre-Airbnb. So who you should be pitching? You should start with single family homeowners. Why? There's more of them. So if you pitch and you're filling out your system and you're feeling, if this is your first time in sales, you need some volume. There's actually something called the 100 Noes Principle. Now, the 100 Noes Principle is you shouldn't really consider yourself like good until you get 100 no's, right? You're in training until you get 100 no's from customers. See, a lot of sales companies, they train you to get the no because no's are just a portion of the deal flow before you get yeses. A lot of salespeople will tell you this, and you sales guys, put it in the comments. I mean, I bet a ton of you sell something way harder than rental arbitrage. I mean, I sell newspaper subscriptions. You know what I mean? It can get tough. So no's lead to yeses. You want to welcome no's. So first thing, 100 Noes Principle, pitch single family homeowners because it's going to give you the opportunity to get a lot of no's, to learn to handle rejection, not be afraid of rejection, and that way you can wholeheartedly come up to a landlord, shake their hand with a smile on your face, not be what we call outcome dependent, where your confidence is based on the outcome of your conversation. You can come up and say, hi, yes or no? Cool, I still feel confident here. I still feel good about myself, and I can go on to the next one. Your likelihood of getting a yes will go up if you're not outcome dependent. So look at no's as positive. Follow the 100 Noes Principle, and let's start with single family homeowners. All right, now let's talk about the how that you're pitching, not the mindset, because that's good enough to get you started. If you just come welcoming some no's, that's enough mindset. So let's talk about how you speak to people. Number one, you should dress for success. You don't have to overdress. A lot of my videos, you'll see me in a suit. I just like to wear suits. It's not like some flashy like flex thing. I've worn suits ever since I was in high school. I bought them at Goodwill for $5 and I wore them to school. All right, I was actually the poor kid in school, and maybe it was me kind of compensating and trying to not be poor, maybe, but I ended up loving suits at a very young age, and I just wear them because I think they're awesome and they're me. So I wear suits. There's nothing wrong with that. I do like to follow the phrase that there's no such thing as overdressed, but at bare minimum, you should follow business casual, right? So dress slacks and a button-up shirt. I'm not a female, so I'm not going to coach you on female fashion for the females out there, but if you walk into a Chase Bank or you walk into a Wells Fargo, you'll see that there is a business casual there. You could even follow store management. So if you want to be fashion forward, you go to a Marshall's or a Nordstrom and you see what the management staff of a building like that are wearing. That's kind of executive wear as well. And I would not call that overdressed either. So when we train our sales staff to do in-store promotions or retail promotions where we're talking to complete strangers in public forums, business casual or better is our kind of rule of thumb. Being well groomed, and you know what, this is one of the harder things for us to coach people on because we really don't want to hurt people's feelings, but I've hired dozens of sales agents that don't brush their teeth, that don't brush their hair, very rarely take showers. Your ability to present yourself as well-dressed, well-groomed, and now well-spoken will be the third one. You want to be mindful of your vocabulary. Words like are bad for the camera. They're also bad for in-person conversations. You want to hold eye contact with people when you talk to them. You want to shake their hand and try to actually like get in there with the handshake. This is actually part of your communication. So your look, your groom, and your language includes your body language. So confident posture. You want to speak with your chest voice. You want to nod as you talk. These are things that are good for communication. Being shy is okay. Being shy is absolutely okay, because if you think about it, you're a business owner, you're not a salesperson, so you don't have to nail confidence in order to sell. I'll just say that. You don't have to nail confidence in order to sell as a business owner. A lot of engineers that have built and sold products to venture capital firms, they've had to just kind of get around with the whole, you know, that the shy look with the arms crossed, your toe on the floor, you're like dragging your toe across the floor looking down, that kind of like shyness. It can be endearing to some people. So if you can at least just get out of your box a little bit and have a conversation with people about your model, you don't look dangerous. And to a landlord, not looking dangerous is probably the most important part, I'd think, more than anything. So being an overly flashy salesperson is called overselling. Overselling can be just basically you're overshooting your runway. And that runway can consist of a few things. You can overshoot your runway by being too confident, too well-spoken, too verbose, saying too many things. You could be delivering the stuff that got them convinced, and then you start saying more things that actually unconvince the person. So overselling can be bad. So being a natural talker doesn't necessarily work to your advantage when you're selling, right? There is a kind of a sweet spot to nail here. So if you're not extremely confident, that's absolutely okay. So let's talk about the words that you're going to say and how you're going to say these words. I'm going to give you a little bit from my personal script here. So when I call a landlord, I'll pick up the phone and say, "Hi, I'm a corporate housing company. I'm looking to pick up a few single-family homes in your neighborhood. Online, or I just passed by your yard sign, your home looks really great from the outside. I'd like to meet you at our property, or I'd like to meet you at your property, take a look at your home, see if it's a good fit, and tell you more about our business model. If there's a time that works for you, I'd love to meet you there and bring you a coffee. How does 2 or 3 today, tomorrow, Friday sound?" Right? So you're just closing the meet. And if I can give you one tip for this, you've noticed that I did not pitch them on the phone. You want to avoid pitching on the phone. The phone is where deals die. All right, you're going to get them in person and meet them in person and talk to them in person. If you follow that one thing, your closing ratio will go up tenfold. All right. And by the way, if you haven't liked the video yet, now's about the time to leave that like. Okay, thank you. Leave that like. I appreciate it. So now, let's say we're talking with a landlord in person. You want to build small talk before you kind of get into your whole pitch. So you'll shake their hand. "Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Sean. What's your name?" "John." "Great. Thanks for letting me come and see your home. So tell me more about the property." Get them talking. So tell me more about the property is what we call an open-ended question. An open-ended question allows them to start to flow, start to talk about them being a landlord. And you like to ask them, so how long have you been a landlord for? How many other properties do you own? Or how many other properties are you a landlord for? Or how many other properties do you own? Do you love it? Is it great? That's more of a yes or no question. And after a few open-ended questions and you feel like you've got momentum with them, you can start asking yes or no questions as you try to gain control of the conversation. So I would say, do you love it? Great. Are there any problems that you have with landlording? Is there anything that you wish was easier? And these are things that you can actually include in your pitch when he's like, "Well, I don't like this about being a landlord. I don't like picking up rent checks," or "I don't like that people leave after 3 years and the place is in disrepair." These are things that landlords have a problem with. So you can actually fix their problem in your script. When you talk about how your business, and like I said, we're corporate housing, so we do something called selling by analogy. I start with corporate housing, and then my script is designed to get people on board with corporate housing, and then my model of it, which includes Airbnb down the road. I don't lead with Airbnb. That's one thing to know, is I don't lead with it. I want them to trust me first, and then trust the process, right? Trust me first, then trust what I'm going to do with your home. So when I go to pitch somebody, I'm looking to find out what their problems are, what their pain points are as a landlord. And then in person, I'll say, "Thank you so much for your time. But anyway, I just want to tell you about our business model to make sure that this is something you're comfortable with. Like I said, I'm a corporate housing company, and here's what we do." And I deliver the whole script. Now that script is coming in a course, and that's why I'm not telling it to you right here, is I'm not going to give it to the whole world for 10,000 people to copy, because then it's less effective. And anybody who's ever been in sales knows if you flood the world with the same script, every landlord in the world starts to hear it. You don't want to copy me verbatim. You don't want 1,000 people in your neighborhood copying me verbatim. So if you want my scripts, you can talk to me one-on-one or wait for the course to come out. But if we're going to land on the big three things here that we've talked about, it's going to be how you look. You want to be well-dressed, well-groomed, well-spoken. All right? You want to focus on them. You want to listen more than you speak. So use open-ended questions. Find out what their pain points are. Find out what their motivations for hosting are. Find out if they have more properties, because if they have more properties, you can dangle a carrot like, "Hey, this will be the first property that I rent from you." Yeah, that sounds great, right? This will just be the first property that I rent from you. If you have 20 properties, we have the appetite for 20 more properties. That alone should spin a landlord's head around and go, you know what? I want to do business with you. I like the way you think. So, by the way, I like the way that you've been staying on this channel and hopefully have liked this video. Thank you so much for watching Airbnb Automated. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And of course, I'll see you on the other side.